Hey everybody, Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat. I am talking with Kevin Lee, who of course is facing Iaquinta in the main event at UFC Milwaukee. Now listen, it's a rematch for you guys, Kevin. It didn't go your way the first time, so how do you feel about making the attempt to try to get that L turned into a W?
There's that. There's going to be a little bit of fun with that. Anytime that you lose a fight, you always kind of how did that. That excites me a little bit. It gets me up a little bit in the morning, a little bit more. I don't really like him either. He don't really like me, so it makes it a little more fun in there. But at the end of the day, I'm chasing titles. I feel like I'm already a completely different fighter than when we fought the first time, and I think I've proved a lot more than he has since we last fought. And, I think those improvements and that evolution is going to show through during the fight.
Yeah, I mean, you guys fought in 2014, and it was a decision win, I believe, by him. You've been way, way, way more active since he has. You have about like 5 more fights than he has. So how much have you evolved since then? Like when you look back on that fight, are you frustrated by just losing, or are you frustrated that like you're not the fighter, you weren't the fighter that you are now back then? You know what I mean?
I think that's going to show through during the fight. I'm going to let it play out how it's supposed to. I think everyone kind of, a real fan that's really seen me through the years. The good thing is in the UFC, guys, people have seen me grow up from a 21-year-old kid who was fresh out of college to the man I am. My beard's a little bit more connected. I move a little different. If you go back and you watch that first fight, it was a great fight, but you can see me now. And I think that's what the game is really about. It's steady evolution. It's steady. Every time I win or lose a fight, I go, I look and see what I did right, what I did wrong, corrections on that. And I think that's going to shine through during the fight. Like you said, I've got 12 fights since our fight. He's only got 6. Right. So, it's my job to go out there and put the way, however it works out. The redemption and we have some history and it makes it fun. But I'm using this man to send a message to the top of the division.
Well, and here's the thing, I like Al. I'm not gonna lie, and I like you, obviously, Kevin. So I don't like when people don't like each other, but I do agree with you. Sometimes it adds a little extra heat in there. But is it like why don't you guys like each other really?
We're just two different people. Me and Al have crossed a couple of times over these years. And every time I see him, it's just we're just too different. We have two different mindsets. We got two different. Everything about us just kind of clash a little bit. He's that Jersey boy, tough guy, kind of, he's the type that'll go in and ruin a hotel room. And to me, the world, he don't need no bigger stage to kind of spread that message. So it's my job to kind of rid him of everybody. I'm doing everybody a favor. You might like, but we'll see. I mean, there's good qualities in everybody. Yeah, sure. Is he like a goofy kind of lovable cat? Sure, but it's just not my type. He's just not my type. You know what I mean?
I get it. Although I feel like there's a little part of you that liked his "you booing me" speech. You know what I mean? After the Masvidal fight, that was kind of awesome.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, there's some things to like about a lot of people.
Yeah.
If I don't like somebody, I'm still going to show him respect. Al's a tough guy. We fought before, and he was one of the tougher guys that I've fought. He was always in there. And you've seen even when we fought Khabib, in those later rounds, he was still pushing hard. He was still pushing forward. He's not going to go away. So trust me, like the man, even though I think I'll shine him skill for skill in every area, I'm preparing for the best fighter that I can see, because that's what I think I'm going to get. Nothing away from him.
Yeah, well, obviously the fight with Khabib wasn't the fight he was planning for that week. He was trying to fight Paul Felder, a totally different kind of person. But, obviously now he did fight Khabib. We saw how it went. It went all the rounds. We've seen Khabib, take out Conor much more quickly. We've seen, obviously, Khabib take out a lot of other people. So when you watched that fight, though, did that give you hope for your own fight with Khabib if that day comes? Did that embolden you at all when you see somebody who can go that far and land some things? Like, I'm curious how that made you think about your shot at the title.
I've been seeing those same holes in Khabib's game for a very long time. I've been calling the man out since like 2016. So it's been a closer now. I see the same holes, and I think the game is about looking at what you do wrong and trying to evolve a little bit. And I see him doing the same things that he's been doing for years. The only thing is the rest of the world got to see it when he faced off against Al. Right. But to me, as a competitor, I kind of look a little bit deep. I kind of already know I got that man's number. So it's just my job to go out there and convince the rest of the world. Once they see me versus Al and my last fight with Barboza, I said that I was going to beat him worse than Khabib did. In this fight, I'm saying the same thing. I'm outshine him in every area and really show that I'm the best in the world. And here, that man can only run for so long. His whole team, they train with me. They see me train. They know. We know. He knows. The world just don't know yet. But we the last. This is gonna be a huge fight. Yeah. Let's just say that.
Well, I love that you've called him out. I think it's fantastic. Because a lot of people don't do that. You had your interim title fight that you were doing great in. You were doing really, really well. I mean, I'm curious what you feel. I mean, I know there were some things leading up to it, health-wise, that you weren't feeling that great, but you still went through with everything. And maybe you would make a decision differently these days. I really don't know. But what did you take away from that fight with Tony? Because it really was a great fight.
Honestly, I really learned a lot about myself. During that whole second half of last year, the Tony fight in particular, I really learned, I grew up very fast during that fight. I think a lot of people have those moments where they just wake up in their lives, and I think that was one of the ones for me. It made me realize, sometimes I can get I'm very confident anyway. I just this is just how I am. It's just but sometimes I think I'm just too big of a superhero or something. Put a little bit too much on my plate, tried to do a little bit too much, and got unfocused from my goal. And it's something that the coach tell me a lot of is to stay focused. You might have the skill, you might have the talent, you might have everything, but if you're unfocused and if you your mind, or if you just don't take advantage of things, then things can go very bad, or you can make it tougher on yourself. And I learned a lot about myself during that fight, more so than I learned from Tony. It was more about me. And the last half of last year was pretty rough, but there's a yin and a yang to everything. Last half of last year was bad. Just this half of this year can be one of the best of my life.
Nice. Well, and the funny thing is too, right? Like the whole bit about being confident and having that swagger, that's what draws people in, right? That's what draws a fan base to you. And so obviously there's a lot of people that like always want you to be that way. But like you said, I mean, I guess when you're put in these situations and you're going to become more and more used to it, and you'll be able to sort of know what to filter out and how to stay focused more, as I'm guessing moving forward will happen for you.
Yeah. I think I'm just growing up, and I think that a lot of fans are seeing that a little bit. Like I said, I started in the UFC as a 21-year-old kid who was just kind of like, you're going to have some moments where you're going to bump your head through. I think that's what the game is about. That's what the road is. I take it in stride, and I keep pushing. I just kind of follow my heart, or I follow what my brain tells what I know to be right. In these last couple of weeks, I've been extremely focused. I know that Al is going to be a fight, and I'm looking to go out there and I'm looking to put on a show. I'll show something very, very different. People are used to seeing me, the way I move around. But I've stayed silent on even social media. I haven't been doing a lot of media since the Barboza fight. Right. Just so when you see me next Saturday, your eyes are gonna open up. I think a lot of people are gonna be like, "Whoa, this kid is he's for real." So I keep my mind on that instead of not getting caught up in all the bullshit.
Well, I can't wait, because I literally spoke to Al yesterday and he almost said the exact same thing that you just said. He said people's minds are going to be blown when they see what kind of a fighter he's evolved into, and what, he's like, I think people are going to be really impressed with this performance. So both of you saying that makes me already think that the fight that I knew was going to be excellent is going to just be like that extra next level. But Kevin, the one thing people are going to ask you is about making weight, right? I mean, because we had a little bit of a hiccup with that before, and I feel like you are one of the people that really would be good for that new weight class, right? I mean, I know you've talked about it, and a lot of people are saying you could be one of the guys that could start a 65 weight class. But how The problem is when people miss weight, right? This is the thing that we end up talking about, right? Forever and ever after, right? So how do you make sure that you get it right this time and that that's just something in the past?
Yeah, again, I mean, you're gonna have critics about everything. You know, people are gonna feel one way or another without really understanding or uh, uh, without even doing their research too much.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just part of the game. You know, it goes to everything. I just keep my mind focused on what I got to do. That's the only time I ever miss weight. You know, I'm so. You know, they allow you until 10 o'clock
Yeah.
to make the weight. I was cutting until 9:59. You know, and then running from my hotel room
Yeah.
down to the. I came in, 30 minutes to go, and I just kind of, half-ass did it. The bottom line is I ran out of time.
Yeah.
This time I'm being extra organized. I've got George Lockhart. That's one of the guys from his team is right here right now,
Nice.
cooking some meals for me since I just finished training. But he's gonna be with me. He's gonna be able to time it a little bit easier for me. So that's one less hiccup. But I don't really care what critics got to say. I really don't. I mean, again, part of this is people are overlooking that this fight is for a number one contender spot, whether it's at 55 or 65. Because the 165 weight I got my eyes on.
Yeah.
But I got to get that fight with Khabib. It's just something, it's just something in me. I just burned it for the fight for so long. So I got my eyes focused on that one. But I know that 165 is right there, and that's my true home.
Yeah.
That's why I'll be a lot more. Either way, this fight is for a title, and I'm treating it as like that.
Well, I love it, and here's the thing. There's a part of me that wonders if you want Khabib to beat Tony. Like, does it matter would you only fight Khabib if he's the champ? Do you know what I mean? Or is that just a person that you just want to beat up no matter where it is?
There's the intrigue of I like a big challenge. So the intrigue to me is fighting somebody that sees this is just this tank, just this Russian, just undefeated. Nobody's figured them out, and he's just running through everybody. That gets me up in the morning. That gets my fire going a little bit. I think honestly that I could probably get the Conor fight a little bit easier. And obviously, the Conor fight is going to be bigger and all that. I don't even want it. Like if they offered it to me for me, like Conor McGregor after this, I wouldn't even want it. I want to fight the champ. I want to fight either if Tony Khabib fight and Tony beats Khabib, you best believe I'm after that one. But to me right now, Khabib is seen as just this destroyer and just this undefeated. I want to be the one to hand him that. Get rid of that. You know what I mean? And that gets me up in the morning.
I hear you. Well, and also then ever since the flying eagle jump and all that stuff, like he's even more of like I don't even know what he is now. Because before, to me, that whole thing surprised me so much, just because Khabib to that point had always been so controlled. You know what I mean? But him jumping over that's really kind of what surprised me the most about it. But if anything, now it's like his badass stock went higher. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, again, I think for casual people, they or for someone who isn't looking at deeper, they kind of see and see it for what it is. To me, I kind of always knew it. Those Russian guys in particular, they can be a little unstable. They can be a little more emotional.
Right.
And I knew that something was gonna go down that week. I didn't know exactly what it was. That just happened to be it. But I already knew. He's a little bit. He can't tell. He can't even take somebody talking about. Some stuff that he considers to be personal, right. And that it's even more stuff like that just makes me want that fight even more.
I'm saying you guys would have you would enjoy the trash talk with Khabib then at the press conferences and all that.
It's gonna be so fun. I can't wait. Like I said, his manager Ali has been training with me for years. Yeah. They bring in Ali brings in these other Russians and see where I'm at. And I always make sure whenever I spar him, whenever I touch another man like that, I make sure I send him back with a message and let him know.
Nice. I'm
ready. I'm out here. So I can't wait for that fight. But at the end of the day, I know that Al is coming to fight. So I'm keeping my mind focused on it. And I know that this week is going to be everything for me.
Very nice. Well, listen, I know in the past, believe you bought your mom a house before, which is pretty incredible. It is the holiday season. Is Santa Lee, like, what are you giving out this year? Because, I mean, after a house, you're pretty much done. Like, I mean, that's such an amazing thing to do for your mom. That is so heartwarming to me. But what's Santa Lee giving out this year?
I don't know. We were talking about maybe doing something, taking a trip somewhere, about experiences.
Yeah.
We come from nothing, so it's like, yeah, the things are nice, but really it's about the experiences and looking back on the real times that we've had together. So I think we all gonna do something together, to be honest with you. I don't know. It excites me a little bit, but I can't look too far. Everything about me, I keep, every day I get a little bit hungrier. Every day I wake up a little bit more pissed off. So I'm not now. I kind of want to put my fist through a face.
Nice. I know. I was just gonna say, he's handing out beatdowns this holiday season, right?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I gotta keep it real with you.
Nice. All right. Now, lastly, before we get out, I don't know how you feel about this. I know you're obviously from Detroit initially, so you can handle it. But I'm a little bit stressed out about going to Milwaukee in December. I don't know how you feel about going someplace that cold, but I was like, wait, where and when? Oh my God.
It's bringing me back home a little bit.
Nice.
When I went out there for a big media day, we had to be up at 3 a.m. that day, and you could just feel that chill, like that bone chill. And I'm like, okay, feels a little bit more like home. It made me feel alive a little bit. Why I keep my family on me so much? It's they remind me of where I come from and where I'm going. And even now, like you see, like I ain't have a haircut all camp. Looking rough, looking scruggly, not really giving a damn about it. When I show up in Milwaukee, I'm going to feel like back home. And I know that I'm going to go out there and it's my time to shine.
Nice. I love it. And then maybe we'll get you up at the desk again, because it was definitely fun having you work with us at the desk. So, you got a bright future, Kevin. You're only 25, right?
Yes, ma'am. The fight. I can't wait for it. I'll be sitting up there with you, looking nice. Hair will be cut, like looking pretty, and you don't want to I'll up there. But maybe I have a few scars and bruises. He can fight. I'm expecting a damn good fight. But
awesome.
I'll see you on fight night, and we'll celebrate.
Awesome. Well, I think you're not alone in expecting a great fight. All of us are. So listen, looks like you look healthy, you look happy. So safe travels up to Milwaukee, and we'll see you throwing down in just a few days. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. As always.